You can't pour from an empty cup. So if you want to be there for your kids and for your family, be there for yourself first.
Even point one is better than negative 10. Just head towards the right direction, point your body towards the right direction.
Because if we don't make that decision right now, it will never come. The opportunity will never come unless you make it for yourself. Welcome back to another episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. I'm so excited because joining me today are two people I admire deeply. One is someone I get to do life with every single day, my husband and partner in parenting, Juancho. And of course, the other is an amazing mama, teacher, and celebrated triathlete who embodies strength and balance in her own motherhood journey, the inspiring Ines Santiago. We're going to talk about juggling family life, wellness, identity, and of course, how to keep nurturing your own being a parent, especially as a mom. And yes, of course, we'll also be sharing with you the Herbalife products, how they have helped us in staying healthier together with our family and our loved ones. But before we get into that, if you're watching on Spotify, go ahead and follow the show and drop a rating. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're on Facebook, make sure to follow my page, Joyce Pring, for updates and extra content. All right, let's get into it. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Parang medyo familiar ka pala sa
Okay,
akin.
medyo kinakabahan nga ako eh. Hindi ko alam eh. Pero,
Pakita mo muna sa audience natin yung notes mo for today.
akala ko yung shirt ko.
Well, okay. Sige, maganda naman talaga yung shirt mo. Nice shirt.
Notes? O kasi usually, nagpe-prepare ako ng notes kapag kausap ko si Joyce. Even in our private conversations because, di ba totoo yun?
Yeah,
Pinag-usapan
that's true.
natin. Kasi nga, medyo nawawala ako sa point palagi. So, to kind of have my thoughts in order, I need to have notes to guide me.
Thank you, love. And with that, our other guest also, Miss Ines, started thinking like, should I be putting down
So I
notes?
did, but like just one thing.
Oo nga eh. Well,
Just
wala,
for the
baka
sake.
magagaling na kayo.
Pressure ko mag-notes.
No, but guys, the reason why we're having this conversation, the reason why I wanted to open up with that is because really what we're going to be talking about today is your own personal journeys in your own athletic lives, in your family lives, and being able to balance all of that, the healthy lifestyle together. But I wanted to start with, I guess, getting to know you from before you became parents, before you had all the busyness that life had to offer. For me personally, kasi I was never an athlete growing up. Like, I only started doing sports when I was in my 20s. Yung seriously doing sports. I took my first swimming class in 2017, 2018. Basta I was 21 years old when I took my first swimming class. And then I did circuit racing. Pero lahat yon later on in life na. So I kind of had to pick up on the healthy lifestyle later on in my life. And I wanted to know, was that the same for you guys or did you grow up doing sports? How about you, Ines?
For me, it's the same.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was never into sports or any kind of exercise even. I started getting active in my mid-30s. Like I said before that, I had zero sports, zero exercise. And I was already a mom when I started. So same as you, I started, although I already knew how to swim from childhood, I knew how to ride a bike, also from childhood, just riding around the villages, but nothing really structured. And I started first running just as a way to cope with stress. And then from there, it progressed. I started swimming, biking, and then eventually I got into triathlon.
It's always like that, right? Like, wow, this is great. Why don't I try to take up biking? Wow, this is great. Maybe I should just add swimming. I mean, I'm doing the two already. Was it like that for you?
Just like that. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's cool. That's very cool. But what made you, if you don't mind me asking, like, what made you decide to start later on in life? Is like triathlon in general? I mean, you've become so competitive in this sport also.
I'm not really sure exactly what made me do it. It was more of like I didn't really like have a goal when I started. It was really just something I wanted to do to release stress. And then it made me feel good. So I continued. So I just built it up from there. And And then eventually, yeah, eventually I was doing tri. So it's not really something I thought about like, okay, this is my goal. I want to do this. I want to eventually do triathlon. It was more of a way for me to get out of the house for a short amount of time to have time for myself, to de-stress. And then since it was something that I enjoyed doing, eventually that's where it led me.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. How about you, Ancho?
Uh,
Kunyari hindi ko alam yung story.
I have so many thoughts. First of all, akala ko hindi ako regular dito sa podcast niyo. So thanks for having me on once again. Second, si Miss Ines is a champion Ironman here in the Philippines, no? Tama? I have so many questions.
Siya yung may questions.
So yung stroke ba ng yung freestyle? Paano
Pakita
ba
mo
siya?
muna yung stroke mo. Paano yung stroke mo? Dali.
Ilang ilang reps bago ka huminga?
Reps.
Ikaw ilan? Yeah, ilan.
Ako after every stroke.
Tapos tumasay
One
talaga
side
sa
lang.
tenga yung
One
di ba?
side
Yung
lang.
arm.
Sumasayad.
Ganun yun, di ba?
Tingnan mo, confused na si Miss Ines kung anong nangyayari sa
Hindi ako
mga...
Hindi
coach,
kasi.
so...
Pero I have so many questions because you've been in the podium. I've always dreamed on being in a podium before. Hindi ko nagagawa yun sa mga races natin kasi mabibilis yun sa age group namin. So ayun. So you like what's your best sport over there? Yung sa among the three.
My favorite would be the swim and the run.
Joyce doesn't like the run. I love the run.
Yeah, I'm okay. Out of the three, my favorite is the swim. So the reason why I started running because I hated running when I was doing triathlon. So that's the only reason why I only did sprint. So I was doing sprint triathlons when I was single. And I really enjoyed it kasi the swim and the bike I enjoyed. Pero pagdating sa run, lagi akong naabutan na. So I hated that. So when I became a mom, that felt like the thing that I was going to overcome because I wanted to overcome my dislike for running. And now I love it. You know, after doing the marathon, I was telling Juancho, I could do a marathon again. It's not one of those things that I tried it and I was like, okay, this is definitely a one and done thing. It was, I'm looking forward to my next marathon. I'm looking forward to doing, our plan is to just do regular na 21Ks because with the season of life that we're in right now, I tried training for an aquathon and it just consumed my life in a way that wasn't balanced out for having two small kids. But with running, you can go longer distance without really compromising a lot on family life. But Juancho, excuse
Ay,
me,
ano nga ba
you're
yung question?
here as a
Sorry.
guest and you're confusing everyone. You're
Ano yung
tell
question
me,
ulit?
tell me
Okay.
how you started in your
Started.
athletic journey.
Okay, so I started young. I started playing soccer sa US, yes. Hindi totoo yun. Pero not in any way organized. And then when we got back to the Philippines, soccer's not really big here or football is not really big here. So I transitioned into basketball. Yun nga lang, I wasn't really tall growing up. So hindi ako nakuha sa varsity. And what happened was I tried badminton. And then 1 year, from second year to third year, I had the growth spurt ng mga 7 to 8 inches in one summer. So from 5 to bigla ako naging 5'11", 5'10".
In high school?
In second year to third year high school. Tas bigla akong nag-basketball na from then on. And now that I'm a parent, yun nga, yung looking for organized sports to be a part of is consuming as well. So hirap makakuha ng schedule to play basketball with my friends. So yung nasa running era na tayo ngayon, we have been for the past my wife and I have been in the running era for the past year. So guest ako di ba? Ito naman no?
Mais ka nga.
So my wife and I have been in the running era for about a year now, and kasi nga medyo mas convenient siya in terms of the schedule.
Yeah, and it was actually a deliberate decision for the both of us because when 2024 came, basta we always have a planning for our life, whatever. And 2023, we were planning for 2024 and I was telling him, alam mo, kailangan natin ng bonding na hindi lang kain. Because that's always what we do. Like when we go out for, let's go on a date, it's always we go get some steak and, whatever, that's our date. Kain lang palagi. And of course, it's not a bad thing. I feel like we'll talk about that later, that nutrition is such a big and beautiful part of our health journeys. Pero we said, why don't we try a sport together? Because he was still doing a lot of sports after I had given birth to two kids. Pero me personally, I stopped completely. Stopped completely. As in, nung pandemic, I stopped doing sports and then I had two kids. And it was just so hard for me to get back at it, to try something that would take me away from the kids, even if it were just 30 minutes or 1 hour. I still was trying to navigate that mom guilt of some sort na, is this okay that I'm doing this for myself when I should be here taking care of my kids? And it took a while for me to really understand that that's such a huge part of our role as parents, is to always take care of ourselves also. So I wanted to ask you guys both that question, actually. You first, Ines, na how is that balancing motherhood and doing sports? Because as you mentioned, it started as something that you just wanted to relieve stress, and then it turned and blossomed into this athletic career now that you have. You're a teacher by profession, but now you're an athlete talaga. What was that like? How old were your kids? How do parents do this? Because that's always a question, di ba? Paano kayo nakakatakbo? Meron kayong mga anak.
Yeah, well, I think that's why I started running, because it's the easiest, like you said. You just step out of your house, you go for a quick walk or jog or run, and then you can get back home right away, 'di ba? But it's understandable. The guilt is very understandable. In the beginning, my cousins were already into running, and for me, it was like, um, if I go out and run, there's that guilt because you leave the kids at home, right? But when the first time I did a run or a run walk, it wasn't even a jog. I lasted for 5 minutes. And on that day, I just really needed to get out of the house to de-stress. And like you said, we don't have much time, right? When my kids then were still young, maybe around like 4 and no, maybe around 5 and 1 or 2 years old. So I couldn't step out of the house to get a drink with my friends or go to the mall. I didn't have that time to do that because I needed to be home. So I said, maybe I'll just de-stress outside, take a walk or run. I also hated running at that time, but it was something that really made me feel good. That moment that I got back home, I said, maybe tomorrow I'll do this again. So I did, and then still 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. And when I realized that it was something that was helping me, and it was giving me clarity and also like stability, it made me realize that this is a good thing also for my kids. Because when I'm clear and distressed, it helps me become a better mom for them. Rather than if I'm at home, like stressed, and then you become resentful that you don't have time for yourself. So I think it was a good balance, because I didn't have to be out of the house for that long. But then I also got that feeling of being with myself and showing myself some care and some love. So I think that yes, the guilt will be there in the beginning, but when you realize that you become a better person for your kids, it's something that will also push you to do, maybe to go longer, and you realize they don't really need you there the whole time. It's really more for yourself that you're guilty, but when you get there, it's like they're fine. Right? So
That really
I think
surprised
I
me
think
also.
that's something that's also hard to realize as a mom. You think you're doing it for your kids, you're being there the whole time, but it's really just guilt. And when you give yourself the space to grow, it becomes better for them. And to be honest, they don't really realize that you're not there for that span of time, right?
At saka they also see the lifestyle that you're trying to put out for yourself, and may inspired din sila na sila mag-athletics din. So that helps, kind of helps them also. What you said, everything for me naman. Well, I'm not a mother. First of all, I'm a father, di ba?
Can see that.
Oo.
We can see that.
Halata. I'm a
Thanks.
father, halata. And then anyway, yun yan. It's yung running is easy. We did a Euro trip a few years back. Tayong tatlo lang. Ako, si Joyce, and si Liam. And what I would do for exercise, kasi para mga 1 month siya. And we were eating a lot, ganyan, and enjoying Europe. But for my exercise, I just, went out and ran. Nakakapag-explore ako, ganyan, tingin-tingin ako nung mga places. Tapos nagagawa mo pa yung mga intervals, or yung mga long runs mo, yung mga tempo runs mo. Meron nga akong secret na pang interval ko, na ginagawa ko ngayon, interval training ko. Naghanap ako ng aso. Tapos papahabol ako. Bumibilis talaga ako tumakbo. As in, ang bilis ko talaga. Parang nagulat ako. Ano yung pace ko? So anyway, I digress. uh, I digress. So, Bebe, come on, bring us back.
No. You dug this hole, get yourself out of it. I'm just
Nasa
kidding.
notes ba yung
Hindi,
dog?
wala.
Tingnan mo kung bakit siya nagna-notes. That's precisely why. Because if not, you make notes, you don't even follow it.
Asan na ba tayo? Wait lang.
What's the point? This is precisely why you were making notes in
Hindi
the
yun,
first
pero
place.
going back to our conversation, the running part is really easy because pwede kang lumabas lang punta ka sa you don't have to look for a court, you don't have to look for a pool, or biking and running is easy because you just go, di ba? Sabi nga ni Forrest Gump,
Ano sabi niya? Sige. Ano sabi niya?
running is like a box of chocolate. Tama
That's
ba?
not what he said.
Ano ba?
Life yun.
Alive ba yun? Okay. Na-mix ko na.
Bakit na nandito to?
Gusto niya na dito pa, di ba?
No, but it's so true. I mean, from both of your stories, no, it really is such a transition once you become a parent, because then somebody else needs you apart from yourself, and then not a lot of people really talk about what you just said, diba? Na most of the time that anxiety that you carry as a parent, na nako, iiwan ko sila, it's really this made up anxiety that we have in our head. Because if you really look at it, the benefit of showing up for yourself, of training, of becoming healthier, of making these small adjustments and healthier choices, it affects your family so profoundly, even if it's just a personal thing that you do for yourself. And I remember when we started running, I was training for I only started with the 5K, and never in my life did I want to run a marathon, because yun nga, I hated running at the beginning. But then, I found myself registering for one for TBR, and there was at this point where our kid, si Eliam, started running, and he's like, "Look, I'm running like mama." And something just clicked in my brain where I realized that, wow, this thing that I'm doing for myself, this overcoming that I was trying to do because I wanted to reclaim my identity, sort of, as just Joyce and not just mama to Eliam and Aggie, although that's beautiful too. It's affected my children in such a good and profound way that I just want to keep going. And when I eat better, when I do my nutrition better, they understand this concept of, oh, this is what we're eating, this is what we're drinking, this is our race weekend. It's such a beautiful thing to see even small kids understand now, wow, this is a part of our life and our family culture. So it's fun, you were being funny, but it's true, diba? Na parang you make these small choices and small adjustments in your life, and it just affects you so profoundly. But I want to know now, because you both are very busy also, kung ano yung mga wellness routines nyo naman. What does it look like for you now, Ines, that your kids are very much grown up already? What was the difference when you were training as an athlete and competing as an athlete when they were a little bit smaller? And then what does it look like now?
I think there's a big misconception when it comes to being a mom of small kids, you think you have to be there all the time, which yes, you do. And then you feel like, oh, when the kids are older, I can do this. I'll have more time on my hands. In my case, I feel that it's not, that's not really the case. Once they hit their teens, I feel that it's more important for me to be there. Because before, like when I would race, and then I'd have to go out of town, it would be easy for me to schedule a lot of races and then expect like my mom to come and stay with them and they'd be fine. But now, um, I'm more, how do you say this? I'm more like discerning when it comes to choosing races and scheduling them, that I don't get to race as often as I would when they were younger. Because I feel that, especially on weekends, I need to be at home with them. Um, so I think I'm okay. I'm also digressing, but for those that feel like I'll put this on hold, I'll do it when my kids are older. You're never gonna get to do it if that's your mindset, because your kids are always going to, no
Need
matter
you.
what stage they're in. And for me, I feel that when they're in their teens, it's even more important that you're there. So I feel that it was a good thing that I started when they were smaller, and then eventually just grew into it. Um, Syempre nakalimutan ko na yung tanong kasi ang layo na How do I manage? What was the
Yeah,
question?
now. What does
Okay.
it look like now? But you're answering the question, don't worry.
That's why, like, wait lang, that wasn't the question. Um, when they're in school pretty much the whole day, right? So basically, that's really time that I can allot into scheduling what I need to do. So usually I train in the mornings and then I work after lunch onwards. So of course you have to start with a healthy breakfast, right? So that's one thing. When I get up, um, I take a healthy breakfast, a shake, some eggs, and then I train. And then after training, I work. And then my son comes home from school, so I can spend the rest of the time. My work is also pretty flexible, so I can do it remotely most of the time when I don't have classes.
Can you share with us, well, specifically which Herbalife products you use? Because I'm so curious as how athletes at your caliber incorporate it.
The shake is pretty much what I use a lot. So Rebuild 24, that I can't live without. Every day I take that after a workout. And then I also take supplements like Mineral Herb Complex, which has sodium, potassium, magnesium, and then I take calcium, of course, because it's very important for women, especially at my age. I won't include you na.
Kailangan ko na yan,
Calcium.
yeah.
Calcium. So that's extra cal. And then
Is that all in the morning that you take it?
I take it in the morning. Yeah, all in the morning. And then at night, night works so that I get to sleep and recover. Yeah, so basically those are the things that I take.
Nice, nice. Thanks for sharing that. How about you, Ancho?
Scheduling first. So, scheduling, no? Scheduling, how, yeah, yeah. So, the first question first. So, what we do, of course, you know this because we live it. What we do is we take turns on our runs and workouts. So, one has to be with the kids. And well, that's the beauty of us freelancers, that we get to control our time. So usually, uh, I go for a run, and then she goes to the gym, and then after that she goes for a run, and then I go to the gym alternatively, and then maglo-long run tayo once a week. So that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we currently work on, because we need our strength training also, maliban sa mga runs, kasi we found na it actually makes you go stronger and faster as well. So kailangan
Injury free, my goodness. I mean, 'Di ba?
Yeah, yung mga leg workout yung very important yun, preparing your hamstrings and all those muscles below for rigorous trainings and long distances is very important. And maliban doon, syempre after we work out, we usually work out in the morning. After that, I take the Formula One shake. What I do is I put ice, I put a banana, and then a scoop of peanut butter because I love peanut butter. Even my gels are peanut butter flavor. So, yun na yung breakfast ko, and then after that yung lunch na. It's very quick and easy. And also we take yung herbal aloe concentrate. We just mix it with water. We love that. Parang tsaa siya for us. So, maliban dun, after everything that's done, we nagwo-work na kami, we manage the businesses, we do shoots, etc. So, in general, what we try to do as a family is revolve the schedule around the kids as well. Maliban sa mga training times natin, of course, we know that they'll be active. One of them's bound to sleep in the morning. And then after that, yun nga yung mga activities after lunch na, etc. After our shoots. So yun. Na-answer ko naman question. So yun, that's how I schedule my day.
I love how you're trying so hard to stay on track.
Oh, yan. Nasa
Kinabahan ka
notes ko
na.
na. Yeah.
Nasa notes. Okay, good.
Scheduling.
No, but that is so true. Kasi feeling ko, like what you said, I also heard a mom friend say that na you think you're gonna have more time when they're older, but the reality is you actually need to be more present when they're older. Kasi iba na yung dinideal nila eh. Hindi na, I need milk, I need food. It's, I need a personal emotional connection with you because I'm going through something as a teenager, or I need to make better decisions or bigger decisions because I'm now going into university. So your parenting role becomes even deeper and more demanding the older that your children get. And that's also one of the things that I realized, that we both realized when well, earlier, by God's grace, rather than later, na it's so important to make that decision right now, that we are going to prioritize our health. Because if we don't make that decision right now, it will never come. The opportunity will never come unless you make it for yourself. And I think it's that when you become parents, or when you become, even if you're just a busy individual, you're in the height of your career, you're doing so many things in your life, you have healthy relationships that you want to take care of, you have businesses, you have work, whatever it is, unless you make an intentional decision to prioritize your health, it will never happen. Because I've had so many of my friends, and I've been in the same position also when I was um, newly minted as a mom of two, where I kept saying to myself, hindi, kapag may time na, kapag meron, alam mo yung pag lumuwag na yung oras, kapag may energy na ako, kapag naka 8 hours of sleep na ako. And I was waiting for a year and it never came. And I just reached a point in my life where I was like, okay, I feel miserable. I resent this whole journey. I feel like I've made bad decisions over the past 6 months. I should be happy. I should be grateful. I should be enjoying motherhood. But because of the state of my health, I just couldn't do it. And I think that's one of the important things that not a lot of parents talk about, which is the impact that your health and your mental wellness and your whole well being takes if you don't make that intentional decision to first prioritize being healthy for yourself, but also for your family. Like, I think from what you guys were saying, parang ganun din eh. Diba? Tama ba?
Oh. So from what I'm realizing, etong fitness journey natin or yung wellness journey natin sa like investing in real estate, the best time was yesterday. The wait, tama. The best time was yesterday. The better time is today. And the worst time is tomorrow. If kung palagi mo ipuput off, just have to do it right away because yun nga, mapagdadaanan ka, mas mahirap pagpakondisyon kung palala ng palala yung eating habits mo, 'di ba? Anyway, yun lang.
Yeah. And, from your stories also, what I really got is the importance of finding the right village. It's finding the right people who will not only enable you but encourage you and even thrust you towards this whole path, because that's one of the things that we realized, no love, na parang it's really, it feels impossible if you don't have the right people who are supporting you. So what does that look like for you, Ines? How do you find, that village for yourself, for your family?
Well, of course, grandparents are
Oh yes,
godsent.
thank you, mom and dad.
Right.
Thank you.
But when it comes to just the sport itself, of course, you have nutritional support. Number one, very important. And so Herbalife has been a very big blessing in that sense. Um, Also having a supportive team to and a supportive coaches to help you manage the stress of training, and of course also life stresses, right? And since I'm not a professional athlete, they know that my life is not going to revolve around this sport. I have a lot of other more important things in my life to do, right? So just, I guess, the whole sense of community um helps a lot. And of course, my kids, like you said, when you start when they're young, they already understand it. They already see it. They already know the sort of discipline, the sort of um, energy that you put into the things that you love doing. So it's not something that they're wondering why are you spending so much time there, or why are you tiring yourself out. To them, it's already part of of their life, part of my life, part of our lives. So yeah, I think more or less that's it for me.
That's really good. I mean, that's one of the things that we only recently realized, kasi nga, we only started training together recently, and we were having dinner with our friends who are also, athletes, or at least they have their own athletic careers also. We were planning the races that we're going to do together for the year. And after dinner, we were like, wow, that feels so good to meet with people and spend time with people who also are passionate about the same things as you. And it's something that you bond over and something that you can really celebrate and integrate into your life, because you've now built this supportive community of people who understands, okay, this is our choices for dinner. This is how kailangan maaga tayo matapos kasi may training tayo lahat bukas, na parang that was one of the small things I feel like that you don't really realize will happen once you become more active in your life.
Tsaka sila din yung nambubudol for the better kasi, o tara mag-sign up tayo
That's
dito
true.
sa race na to.
Damay-damay na, di ba?
Si Coach Al Gonzalez, I don't know if you know Coach Al, sila Coach Ige, Joyce is a running coach, and everybody that's around our fitness journey, sobrang lakas sila mambudol. Like, yung Taiwan ba gagawin ba natin, or ano na ba tayo, sign up, lagi kami nagsa-sign up sa marathon, yung majors, hindi lang kami nakukuha.
The lottery.
Hindi lang kami nakukuha, pero hopefully. Pero yun nga, just like what you said, yung nutritional support, like, I know it's sa t-shirt ko pa lang, pwede tong pang takbo, di ba? Ano to dry fit. So, abangan nyo ako sa mga race ko. Ito yung magiging suot ko sa, maliban to sa nutritional support at Herbalife. Fuels us with the rebuild after the races. That's our breakfast already. So, yeah, yun. Ang mahirap din kasi, for a lot of people, nagiging, nila yung endurance sports sila, excuse for pigging out, tapos nagiging counter-effective kasi sobrang nagpipig out na sila. So, what Joyce and I try to do is to still do it the right way.
Just balance.
No, balance pa rin.
Well, we apply the 80-20 rule, so 80% really is whole foods. We make sure that our nutrition is supported by Herbalife. The 80%, the majority of our life is really that. But the 20% is cake. It's really,
Dessert.
it's ice cream,
Dessert.
it's
Dessert.
it's enjoying our life. And I think that's such a good model for our children to see also, na we aren't so intense in that way. We get to do the 80-20 where there's a bit of balance, but the majority of our energy and time is spent really on doing the right thing and having that strict diet sort of. I've enjoyed this conversation and the many directions that it has taken, guys.
Sasabihin ko pa nga lang, hindi counted ang dessert sa, sa calories kasi it goes straight to the heart.
Ayun pala yun.
Ang sweets.
But with the
To the heart.
Rebuild 24, it kind of tastes like dessert also. Plus, you're getting your protein. So sometimes I do that with a Greek yogurt and then I mix it with a protein powder. You see this, diba? And then I just pop it in the freezer and it's like chocolate ice cream for me. So you can always make those small adjustments, I feel like, if you really wanted to. But before we finally wrap up the episode, I wanted to ask you guys for one simple advice to any busy parent out there who feels overwhelmed but want to be healthier together with their families.
Okay, I think it came out already as the theme of this conversation. So I would say you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you want to be there for your kids and for your family, be there for yourself first. Take care of yourself. Have good habits, good healthy habits, nutrition, exercise, leisure. Just give yourself that gift. If you want to be able to be a better mom, be a better sister, whatever role you have in your family. So I think that would be it. You can't pour from an empty cup. So fill your cup and then you'll be able to take care of them better.
Thanks for that.
Actually,
Juancho?
na-empower nga ako sa sinabi mo kanina. Coming from a podium finisher. So, kami kasi hindi pa kasi.
Pangarap talaga ni Juancho yun. Pagpasensya mo na.
Oo.
Totoo. As in,
As
talaga.
in, parang bane of my existence.
Yeah, he's serious. He is dead serious. As in, like, he will trip over himself to get that pace that he's going for because he really wants to get a podium finish.
Soon. So anyway, sinabi mo kanina nga na you start with 5 minutes per day. I think a lot of people are overwhelmed turning the corner into a healthier lifestyle. Starting with that is a bet the best way to start. Just start it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes maglakad or a run walk ka lang muna para hindi ka overwhelmed and then build from there. What I always tell Joyce is even 0.1 is better than -10. So just head towards the right direction, point your body towards the right direction, eat healthier and do something, diba? Because it's not just for yourself but also for the people that rely on you.
Love it. Wow.
Diba? Bawi ako sa bawi lang sa wala sa notes yun.
From the heart yun, straight from the heart.
Saka yun nga, yung secret training ko, guys, please don't forget it. Kung gusto nyo bumili sa pagtakbo, hanap kayo ng mga aso, tapos pahabol kayo. Ang bilis ko talaga tumakbo, grabe.
No, that's not part of it. Don't do that. That's very dangerous. We're not gonna do that. That's just a joke. But thank you so much, Ines and Juancho, for being on the podcast. I loved hearing all of your stories about parenting and your own athletic journeys, and I'm sure that it really has inspired all of our audience to be healthier together. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. We hope to see you guys again soon. If you want to know more about this conversation, please keep it going in the comment section, and we'll see you on the next episode.